Hi, I'm Kendra Paulson. I found these modules to be very interesting and informative based on the whole concept of trauma because it's something that you don't really talk about much, but that you encounter a lot. I thought these two modules really complemented each other because, first off, they both really gave clear descriptions of what trauma is. The first one was a very medical, very data based, scientific, research based sort of module. It gave numbers, it gave figures, and it was a lot about the effects of trauma. What does trauma do in general to a person who might have experienced it? Whereas the second module was very, very, very educational based, which I found very helpful. It gave a lot of very clear examples and resources to use if you ever encounter students that may have experienced trauma. And it gave very real life situations that unfortunately do occur out there. Um, I also found that these modules complemented each other in a way that was more beneficial to the listener because it laid everything out in very clear and concise ways. There was nothing in either module that contradicted each other, and they both gave very, very good reasons why trauma needs to be taken seriously and why it does need to be addressed more than it usually is. Um, I have not received any trauma training formally at my school, but every single day we learn how to deal with trauma. And that very first thing that we always talk about is building a good connection with the kids, building that trust, getting them to understand that school is a safe place where, regardless of what has happened in their personal lives, they are free to come there and tell a teacher to every day is a fresh day, and whatever they take with them, they don't have to take with them to school. And so we don't per se receive direct training, but we're kind of given indirect training based on the experiences that so many of our kids have. Like the mandatory reporting thing, it's very real. And just the situations that were talked about in the videos, they all happen at the school that I'm at. And so the training happens regardless whether you have somebody saying, okay, this is what you should do, this is how we should do this. And it's awesome to see the teachers at my school because they all collaborate. We have, because I'm teaching music right now, we have a specials collaboration every Thursday after school, and we talk about things that we can do to help those students in our classroom specifically that have experienced trauma. So for example, there's one student in particular who's been a real challenge in all of our classrooms. And so instead of simply trying to deal with it on our own, we all have found different ways that we can better engage a student and help the student succeed in ways that they weren't previously able to before. So that trauma training, yes, while important, it's really much a very as you go sort of learning experience. Something that works for one student doesn't always work for the next, and so you kind of learn to develop it as you go. I don't know that I have any real in-depth questions about trauma specifically. My concern would be more so how do you address something traumatic with a student if they aren't willing to talk about it and don't even know that you possibly know about it? Because we have a student right now who has had a horrible, horrible, horrible traumatic incident and definitely has trauma from that incident and has been diagnosed with that trauma. But he's not aware that the teachers even know about it because it was something passed on to us from his previous school. And so my question would be, how do you try to work with this student without singling them out and saying, hey, yep, I know about your past, sorry about that, and then use these strategies without them feeling singled out when they don't want to be singled out. Otherwise, I think the modules were very informative and very helpful, and they go right along with everything that my school has been teaching me. So it was really great to see that what's in practice is what's in the research as well.